All right, hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We are back tonight playing more Arzium, continuing our near far wherever gears are campaign. We are down Jeremy, but we have gained an Aaron, and I'll leave it to the comment section to explain whether or not the that is a trade up. Possibly, I don't know. We'll see. Jeremy's everywhere.
It's definitely a trade down. Jeremy is so much cooler than I am.
Oh, that's not true. That's not true. He is such a square. Oh goodness.
The humans are gone.
Yeah,
the humans are finally gone.
Right. Humans are gone.
So yeah. Oh my God, that's right. No more Cecil. I mean, Cecil's still going to be around, but he's not going to talk to you much, I guess. Plus, you don't get your bonuses because he can't heal you and he can't give you food.
That is a problem for me.
Sorry. That teaches the math
Whoopsie.
on the
I told you. I mean, way cooler than I am.
But you get a big, strong, tough Toadfolk guy back. I mean,
I'm a swole, stupid toad.
Personally, I don't see how that's a trade down. That just, to me, a swole frog / toad, to me, is there a better type of character to play? Because I don't.
You're not biased at all.
Can't really think
Might be the best.
Can't think of a better one anyhow. But yeah, let's just dive right back in. We're gonna get Aaron back into the group pretty fast, and then we're gonna go there. I think we're also gonna hit level 3 really quickly, pretty early, and then we'll go from there. So be ready. So last time around, you all were searching around this factory with some grateful hog folk that you happened to save. You found the replacement parts that you need to fix the iron crawler that you've been traveling to the Toad City of in. You also found a very hidden vault, and there's some sort of special little mechanism, but you got inside of it. You found some treasure and some gear. But the hog folk disappeared, didn't say goodbye, left without a trace. They're kind of shady here and there, but they're gone. And then on the way back to the iron crawler, you stopped at the lake west of Varna's hut, and that's where you surmise that there was probably some Fishfolk, she said, that were friendly, but she hadn't seen them in a while, and you did find some signs of violence, likely the result of a raid by some of these cracks that are rumored to be in the area, kind of causing some trouble. Back at the iron crawler, you met with Eldrin again, who explained that some grasskin scavengers had come by, was harvesting herbs from a nearby swamp, and they also talked about these cracks giving them some trouble, and they gave you another potential quest if you wanted it, which is to give them a hand down in their secret village to the southwest. Krista was the one who wanted the glow moss, but you returned to her. She had the company when you met her of 2 of Varna's Srika, that apparently had escaped the windmill again, but there was no sign of Mac or the third Circa that Mac had tickled and befriended. So you all rested, and then you ventured back to Varna's, and you were waiting around for Eldrin to basically repair the crawler. And so you found that the rope bridge had snapped, and Melka, you used your wings to very cleverly reconnect it, but you briefly got attacked by a large spider that just popped out of the side of the canyon. Varna explained to you all that after the Circa broke free, they tried to cross the bridge. 2 of them made it. One of them snapped. One of them fell when the bridge snapped. Mac decided he was going to climb down the canyon to try to learn of what happened to his dear Circa friend, and because this is the same fate that befell Rickard, Varna's wife, and Varna's husband. Varna hadn't seen Mac since. So you all, the rest of the party, decided rather than climbing down like Mac did, you wanted to take the longer but safer path, which is sort of going a little bit southeasternly and following the slope and then coming and looping around. You found a cave opening. You found this strange obsidian outcropping that was giving some kind of hum. You did some harmonizing, some singing, and then suddenly the outcropping exploded and started spinning and hit you all with shrapnel. But it did reveal this ancient Arzian device, which I think Sarla was the one who scooped it up, knowing that it could be very valuable to the scholars in or Medgra, or, well, really anywhere. And then you decided to descend into the cave, hoping to find your missing friend, Mac. So, we all good? We all up to date? We know what we're doing?
Good.
Okay. Fantastic. So, we're going to say then that, let's see, who's going to be the, I don't know where we left off in terms of active characters. Let's just go Milka. Okay, so you all have been traveling, with the exception of Mac. So everyone here, with the exception of Mac, you have been traveling through these caves. You've been kind of crisscrossing. It was very circuitous. You've come to some dead ends. You've had to turn around here and there. You've had to climb up, climb down. You've followed some streams. Those streams have dead ended, and you've sort of retreated, and literally hours have gone by. And that's when you hear the sounds of fighting. And you hear a familiar voice, kind of vaguely in between some shouts. You hear the sounds of some kind of strange, like echoing call that is then then responded to. And as you weave around this cave, it opens up and you see this massive chamber, and you guys all have torches and stuff out because it's very, very dark down here. And you can see what looks like an underground lake. And there on the shores and in the shallows of this underground lake, you see your friend Mac, who is in a bit of trouble. As you see, there are these two large cyclopean single-eyed figures, these which some of you might know as cave Zorlax, with big spears that are starting right now to flank around Mac on either side. And you also see this giant flying fish emerge out of the water with these huge teeth come sweeping in the direction of Mac. And so that is where we're at. So Milka, you are the active character. So I give you one beat. What is it you would do as you see Mac about to be attacked by these three things?
Well, she'd look at who's with her, which is Starlight and Gurgle, draw the storm sword and yell, "Charge!" As she runs towards battle. My best friend is about to die.
That's what I figured. Okay, so we'll go right into combat. This is going to be Aaron's first combat, too. So let's go ahead and get into this then. Okay.
I have 1 hit point in a dream.
Did you replenish your armor at least?
Again, it was soup, not armor.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Do you have any, does anybody have any, what's it called? Elixirs of health or?
No, our doctor is no longer with us.
I do have one if you want to drink it real quick.
I do have one.
Oh, there you go. Gurgle's got one.
I mean,
If you save me, you can have it.
hold it up. Here you go.
You've been traveling for a bit, so if you want to take Gurgles, we can say you would have done that sometime in the last hour or two. That's perfectly fine if you want to do that, Kipser.
Gurgle would sure. If Gurgle is willing, I would drink that. Probably.
Yes, you're bleeding from every orifice. You should drink this.
Oh, thank you. How much does it heal?
5 HP.
I think it's 5,
HP.
yeah.
Brilliant. All right, thank you.
Okay.
More than 1 hit point in a dream.
More than one. Okay, so let's just go back through this, how combat works, because this is Aaron's first time. There is no specific initiative order. Basically, all the PCs go first in most cases, and then all of the NPCs will go, and then we back and forth we go like that. That's essentially what it is. There's no grid. I just have this map up just to help us. Basically, the game works in groups. So it's not even really a range band. It's more just groups. Right now, at the start of the combat, there's no groups right now where there's more than one person. Everyone's essentially their own group. So the 2 different Zorlax and the giant fish, and then each of you are all in your own groups. If you want to melee somebody, you basically have to move up and join groups. And there's no distance, really. You could just say, I move up, and now you can melee them. If you're range attack, you can range attack anywhere, really, as long as there's no line of sight situation going on, which in this case, there's not going to be. And so that's basically how movement works. Now, the one caveat with movement is that unless you have some special ability or whatnot, your movement has to be done before you take your combat action. So you can't move after a combat action. Combat actions include attacks, obviously, casting spells if you're a spellcaster, and also doing what are called gambits. Gambits are basically improvised things. So if you're trying to trip somebody or knock somebody over or blind somebody or whatever it might be, however you want to describe it, we can kind of figure it out. And then there's also some minor actions. So you can take one minor action at any time. So that could be things like swapping out a weapon, opening a door, using a consumable. So if you've been tracking your inventory properly, consumables is basically anything that's marked with an asterisk, but also picking something up or that kind of thing. Now, there's certain information on enemies that are just public info. And so if any of you like hover your cursor over top of like the monsters, you can actually see 2 bars, and these are the information you know basically HP, and then you know power. Power is basically a damage modifier that the enemy will get if it attacks you. And some of you have attacks or items that can deplete power, but then these enemies every round their power will go up by 1, so they're always like kind of gaining power back as the fight progresses. So that's basically everything that you essentially would know. You'd have all that as free information. They all have some special damage. Some of them might have damage resistances, or some of them might have special abilities, but none of that is public info. Okay, so that's basically how that works. Any questions on that? We good to go? Okay.
I think we're good.
So you come running in. You see there is Mac in the middle of this lake. Again, just in the shores, the shallows. The lake goes off at a great distance into the dark, to the point where your torches, the light that you're carrying, can't even see the other side of the lake itself. Everything's kind of echoing here and there as you move about. You hear the sounds of dripping, and then you see this monstrosity of a fish begin to emerge from the deeper parts of the lake and close in on Mac as the 2 tall, sort of fishy cyclops-like looking folk begin to flank around Mac. So you guys can go in any order you want. If you have something you would like to do, just call it out, and then we'll go from there. So who would like to go first?
I could be charging in already. Oh, sorry, Sarla.
Oh, that's right. Go ahead. You're
I would be
Okay.
Yeah. Going straight ahead towards Mac and trying to defend him from these nightmare creatures.
Okay. Do you want to join the group with Mac?
Yeah. Well, I guess I would like to join the group with probably the fish, but
Sure.
The fish is going to come to attack us, right?
Yeah, but they go after all of you go. So it's not like all PCs go and then all NPCs go.
Then for now, I'll join the group with the fish enemy.
Okay. The other thing I should mention is one thing you can do when you are in the same group as a PC is you can spread the damage. Like you can literally tank damage for people. We forgot to do that last time. So that's another thing that we can potentially do. Okay, so your movements up. You still have a combat action if there's something you wanted to do. As you just run past Mac at that point, charge past him, splash, splash, splash.
Mac yells out, "They don't want to be friends, Melka. No friend, no friend."
Oh no, it's all right. You're my best friend. I'll help you. So she's going to sing All We've Got Is Dead Disco, Dead Folk, Dead Rock, and she's going to try to hit down with the Storm Sword, which I... Look, we're doing metric today, all right?
No, it's great. It's great. It's phenomenal. I love it so much. Go ahead. Oh, goodness.
Now, the Storm Sword is a D8 plus knowledge energy damage. Does that mean my max knowledge, or does that mean I expend knowledge points into it?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so. I just wanted to confirm. Yeah. And these auto hit, right? Or do I have to roll a D10?
Yeah, there's no roll to hit. There's only roll for damage. And then you can choose how many points that you want to spend to add to it.
Let me roll for damage. That's a 7. You know what? I'm going to just pump it. I'm using all 4 of my knowledge points now. So that is a total of 11 points of damage. And this is a thunderstorm or lightning, I would presume lightning damage or energy damage.
It is energy damage. It is specifically an energy damage. Normally, so that we're playing it. Normally you would announce before the roll how much you put in, but that's fine. Like we can let it go.
Sorry. I was gonna pump it anyway.
Yeah.
I was always going to do that.
So you go charging in, you pull out the storm sword that you just got from the vault beneath the factory, and it kind of cackles a bit, like you see lightning just sort of like streaking through it. And as you bring it down onto this fish that has just emerged and is flying across the surface, you see that not only does it do 11 points of damage, it seems to as if you have done extra damage, as it seems like your damage to this thing has done a significant strike, probably more than you were expecting to do. So basically, this has a weakness to that kind of damage. Okay,
What kind
so
of
yeah,
damage did you do again, Milka?
Energy.
none of your business. Shut up.
I thought. Energy damage. You got the storm stone still.
And a hexite crystal.
That's true. And don't forget, this game does expect you to use your consumables. Like it is balanced around that as a concept, right? All right, so Sarla or Mac or Gurgle, when do you want to go next?
Mac would probably charge in since he saw Melka run out there. He's still screaming. He's like, "They're not friends, Melka. They're not. That's a really cool sword. I've never seen that before. Where did you?"
We got into the factory. I sing to make it active, but every time I sing, things keep hitting me.
And a rock falls from the cave ceiling and just bops off her head.
So he will swing his sword.
Okay, so you automatically hit, so it's really just about damage, and then your sword should have a stat next to it, and that is what you can tap into. You can use points from that stat to get a damage modifier, basically.
I think I'm going to stick with it flat for the moment because I've got 2 talents that give me a total of +2 damage on this anyway. And since we got so many guys to fight, I'm going to keep my strength up for a little bit.
Okay.
I rolled a 6 on the die, which means because I've also got critical strike.
Do you have lucky? Because rolling a 6 is
on the damage die.
Yeah,
it's any roll of a 6, I think, but it's okay. It's okay. Keep. You're gonna kill it. So keep talking. What else do you have?
Well, with critical strike, if I do maximum damage on the damage die, I get to roll the die again and add it to it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a 4, so that's going to be 12 points of damage in total.
Okay, you managed to. So as you come up to it and you swing down in, like you carve into it, and then you feel like it tries to like rip away, and your sword gets stuck somewhere in the bone of this thing, and you see as it like wrenches free, your sword snaps in half. As you pull it back out, you have just the hilt. The blade has snapped. So basically, the 6 causes you basically to lose something valuable. In this case, I'm just going to say it breaks something, so it could still be repaired after the fight with a craft to potentially piece it together or find it. But that will say is like the negative consequence.
I got to find a weapon that doesn't roll a d6 then, because that critical strike sucks.
So real quick.
It's true.
So real quick, I double checked the rules real quick. It's a whenever a player rolls a natural 6 on a d10.
I take all of that
back. It wasn't a d10.
You think it broke. It was actually the sound of the fish's bone breaking. And as you pull it back out, you realize, oh, no, it's fine. Everything's fine. And that is it. The fish is actually dead. So you guys have killed the fish already between the two of you. Best friends back together.
Mac looks over at Melka.
Best friend high five!
Best friend high five!
Best friend
Fish fry!
Covered in fish guts, just high-fiving. These cave Sorlax are like, what are you doing? Okay, Sarla or Gurgle, would you like to go?
Sarla can go. So seeing this effect of energy that just happened with Melka, so Sarla is going to look at it where we're at. So I've got a hexite crystal that does 1d6 splash energy, which I probably don't want to do since I've got allies up. So I will.
The fish is dead, just so you know. So you have the two Zorlax. So you don't know whether or not energy is as effective against them as it was against the fish. It's different.
That's true. Then what I will do instead is I'll move up into the group with my friends. Hello, back. It's very good to see you. Glad we found you safe. Relatively safe. And then Sarla will throw a bottled demon at this one that is off to the north.
Okay. All right. Are you gonna? So I can't remember.
1d10 spirit damage.
Okay. So go ahead and give that a roll.
It's a 5.
All right. So it's a 5. You said spirit?
Spirit, yes.
as the demon, as the bottle cracks, you see this kind of reddish spirit begin to erupt from it. And at first it seems like it's just like this friendly, nice spirit. And then the face just turns and you can see as it wraps around the Zorlak and begins to like hack away at it until it goes off into like this poof. I will say that it looked looked a little bit less effective than you probably would have hoped it would. Still effective, but nonetheless, it seemed as though the Zorak was somewhat defended against it. How much damage total was it again?
So it was 5 was what I rolled.
5. Okay, perfect. All right.
And Sarla
most
kind
of it goes through.
growls a little bit at that ineffectiveness of it.
All right. And then Gurgle, you're the last one to go.
Keep your heads down. I'm shooting arrows. And I'll aim with the glint of the torch the Cyclops is holding. Spend one perception.
All right. Are you going for the one that Sarla just threw her bottle demon at?
Yeah.
Okay.
And because I'm have the hunting ability, my bows do extra 1d damage. 1 damage.
A +1? Perfect.
Yeah.
No,
I rolled a 1. Total of 3.
3 points of damage. You can see that they are armored. Like they're not naked. They do seem like intelligent creatures. They're carrying weapons, and some of that armor has managed to mitigate what you have done to a degree.
And then for my minor action, I'll pull out a small little mechanical beetle, whisper into it, Melka, and it scurries over to her feet, enlarges to be 1 foot tall.
Okay.
And it turns into like a little guard beetle.
Oh,
fantastic. Okay, I love
Thanks,
it.
Gurgle.
Okay, so Jeremy, I guess, would go next. I'm just going to keep it simple with him. He will run. Does he have any ranged attacks? Let's see if he's got any ranged attacks. I don't think so. So I think he's just going to go stab with some knives. Yeah, he'll just go run and
Storm Stone.
Okay, yeah, I can do that if you want me to.
So it's a 1d4.
Okay. He'll stay back with Gurgle then. He'll move over right next to Gurgle so that you guys are in the same group so that you could potentially split damage. Then he's going to chuck the stone at the one that you've all been fighting. That's a d4. That's 3 on the die. Pretty good roll. And so again, this cyclopean kind of thing to the north in the water that's splashing around the shores has been attacked several times, but it's still up. Then it comes to them, and there's this giant dead fish that's now floating in the water. You can see the blood is beginning to pool and kind of color the water. And the 2 Zorlaks, they start, and then the other one looks back, and then they start doing like this, like the sand people thing where they just raise their spears, and each one of them is going to be able to essentially boost their power a bit. So normally they're just going to go up 1 on their turn, but the first one who goes, they have an ability that they can actually give one of its allies 1 power. So the first one that goes is going to give the one to the south. We'll say the one that you've been hurting is going to go first. Gives its special ability towards the other one, and then I think it's going to go ahead and charge. It's going to charge the back line. It's going to go for old Nurgle.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's going to charge in because you look tasty. You look like you're a Fishfolk. It's going to charge at you, and then it's going to roll a d4 for its attack, plus its damage bonus, which is currently 5. And I did roll a 4, so that's 9 points of damage to you, Gurgle.
Okay.
Damn.
Let's see. I have 7 total armor from food and pieces together, so I'll take 2 damage on top of it.
That sounds exactly right. The food won't come back, but your item armor will after this fight. Okay. Perfect. The next one will go, and he will shout back towards his friend. Unfortunately, his friend is already gone, so he won't get the benefit of the extra bit of power this round, but he shouts out. And then this one's going to go ahead and charge in at the group in front. And then I have 3 different people to choose from. It's going to be Sarla. So Sarla, they're attacking you. Same deal. This is going to be D4 plus 6. I rolled another 4, so that's 10 points of damage against Sarla. What's your armor?
Oh dear. I was down to 1 armor and 8 health, which is a number lower than 9.
Okay. So what you guys can do, don't forget, since you guys are in a group together, you can split that damage. That's one of the things you have the ability to do. I think it's not like an arm. I don't think it's like an action or anything. I think it's just something you can do.
Looking back through the combat notes.
You may defend an ally who is in your group by taking some or all damage intended for them. So Mac and Melka, you could opt into taking partial damage. There's 10 damage coming at Sarla. The two of you, if you wanted to, could take some damage.
I could take 3.
I'll take 5.
Oh my god.
The guard beetle can take 4.
That's right. The guard. So
the guard
whatever
beetle.
comes at, because but it's specifically on Melka, right?
Mm.
So we would say whatever Melka is opting into taking, the guard beetle will take instead. Okay. So
Take 3.
3 goes to Melka, 5 to Mac, and then 2 will come back to Sarla. Sarla, how much armor do you have?
I have 1 armor left. So 3 goes to me, you said?
What do you mean? What do you mean 1 armor left?
So I had already taken some damage. So I had 1 left on my armor and 8 health left.
Okay. So armor, remember, refreshes in between.
It was the food.
Okay.
I had lost some of the 3 bonus from the food. So
gotcha.
So
only
3
2
came
is
to
coming.
me.
Only 2 is coming your way.
Okay. Then armor is gone and 7 health left.
Okay, perfect. And that is the end of the round.
Everybody.
As both Mac and Melka come to the fence, and as like he's thrashing and stabbing forward, like Mac and then Melka and the guard beetle all are managing to redirect the spear, kind of push him off to the side, throws blows, and that's that. All right, so we have 2 groups. We have a group in the back with Gurgle and Cecil and one of these creatures, and then we have a group in the front with everybody else. So comes back to you all. Who would like to go first?
I think Sarla would like to attack this thing that just attacked her. So she is up for some revenge. So Sarla has her wrench in her right hand. And so that is a D4 plus strength, and then it takes -2 power away. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 strengths on that. So D4 plus 2, roll the 2. So that's 4 damage, and then loss of 2 power for this one that just attacked me. And then my minor action from Deadly Bite, I'm going to spend a strength to do a bite attack for another D4 damage. So 4 damage from my wrench hitting it upside the head.
Okay.
And then 4, I rolled max on my bite.
Okay. All
so
right.
she kind of comes at, so she's got this like wrench that she has, and she just, kind of like hits it upside the head. And then just tries to like bite it on, sort of shoulder-ish kind of area.
Mm-hmm. And you managed to get through some of it. Like it's got like this sort of barbarian like armor. You see like a strap from one shoulder down to the next. You bite on the shoulder, you just get a little bit of the armor plate. But you do manage to, you hear it go as you bite into it. So it's actually been effective. How much did you reduce its power by?
2.
2. Thank you. Let me keep track of that. All right. So then this is going to go down. All right. Perfect. All right. Who is next? Mac, Melka, or Gurgle?
I think Mac would, seeing Sarla charge in and hit this guy, he gets inspired. So he hops across her shoulders and leaps up into the air and brings his sword back in a classic barbarian pose in the air. And he smiles down at Melka. See me? And then swings the sword down. And I will spend 2 strength to add damage to that.
Okay. You roll your die, add your normal bonuses, whatever you get, and then add the 2 on top of it.
So I got a 4 on the die, so that's 6. 8 points of damage and 1 point of power damage. Forgot about that last time. And then also for my minor action, as I land, I'm going to smack him in the face with my tongue.
Okay.
So I'm going to spend a point of reflex. And
His tongue whips out as he's falling back. You get him like right in the one eye that he has. Okay.
And that does 4 points of power damage.
4 points. All right. It's down to 0 power. So it basically gets no damage bonus. Well, it's going to get probably a bonus in a sec, but like if it survives, but it's going to be very minimal. All right. Fantastic. So that was Sarla. That was Mac. Melka, do you want to try to finish this off maybe?
Yeah. Let's, you've got the brawn. I've got the brain. Let's make lots of my friends.
This is so adorable. As you're covered in fish guts and murdering this thing.
That is an 8 on my D8.
That is phenomenal. Not enough to actually take it out, but that is enough to get it very, very close.
Yeah, I can't boost it. It is still energy damage, just in case.
These don't seem to be affected like the fish was. You do have a minor action, so if you have any consumables that you want to use that do damage, you could potentially use a consumable to possibly finish it off.
Yeah, I've got 3 hexite crystals. It's got
D6.
splash on it. Can I throw it on the other side of it so that it's not splashing on us?
I don't think it does splash on you. I'm pretty sure it only hits. I think the game just allows for the fact that you're just hitting enemies. I don't think it splashes to your friends.
All right. Well, then I will roll a d6. Okay, I got a 6 on. Oh no, it is a d6. A 6 on a d6, which is fine because it's not a d10.
Describe your kill then, Melka.
For friendship. And she throws down hexite crystal at his feet, and it just explodes under him. Charge for Gurgle! Yep, that's it.
He absolutely falls, and he is in the kind of electrified water for a moment. The rest of you feel a little bit of like the charge in the water course through you, but not to a damaging degree. And then Gurgle, you and Cecil have got one in front of you. What do you want to do, man?
There's still one more, and I'm gonna evade it and join the larger group.
Okay, so you rush away, leaving Cecil to die. Okay, that's your movement.
I'll shoot it from here.
Okay, you better kill it. It'll do so much damage.
I'll use my bow again with 1 perception.
So it should be at 15. Okay.
And it did confirm splash damage does not affect allies, even if they're
I didn't think it did. Okay.
Yep.
This one hits better. That's 7 damage.
That's still very, very good. Not enough to take him all the way down. And again, he does have some armor, some resistance effectively. He's got damage resistance 1, so he just gets a flat reduction on that. But definitely, as he looks back, there's like an arrow sticking out of like the leather strap on his back. Okay. And then we come to old Cecil Sizzleton.
So I think he might, as a minor action, like if he doesn't kill the thing, he can do the spice throw. Yeah. Spend 1 supply and remove 1d6 power.
Gotcha.
Okay. And then
he's got weapon expertise with his knives, which gives him a +1 damage on his knives. And his knives, he can equip 2 butcher knives, 1 in each hand, and when he attacks, he rolls for both knives. Okay.
Yep.
So, okay. All right, here we go. I got it. So 2d4s basically +1.
Okay.
So that's 4.
Ooh.
That's 5. I rolled a 3 and a 4, so that's a total of, what did I just say? 3 and a 4, so 4 plus 5.
9.
He's got the +1, so it's 9 points of damage. That is, in fact, enough to fillet this guy. Actually, no, it's not. That puts him at 1. I'm sorry. 9, because he's got the damage resistance. We'll put him at 1. Let's see. So with his last action...
Minor action spice throw.
Yeah, he can do a spice throw. He can so after stabbing away, he'll kind of just blow some spice right in the guy's face. And this is a D6 for power. He reduces his power by 2. Okay.
Hopefully that helps.
That's okay. All right. So the Sorlak is basically going to get one last action. And I think what it's going to try to do is it's going to try to run the hell away. And so you see it kind of rush off into the lake further and then trying to scramble around to the darker waters. You can still see it at the farthest reaches of your torch, but it's definitely running and running and running and trying to escape. Now, it's up to you all whether you want him to, whether you're okay with him escaping. That's entirely up to you. So at the start of your turn, you basically get to choose. Do you accept the fact that it's retreating, or do you all want to continue to try to kill it?
Run away.
How do we know these creatures are to be?
They did not want to be friends.
No.
Bruce, the fish, I thought Bruce was going to be my friend, but he did not want to be my friend either.
That's
I
so
don't.
sad.
I as long as they're running away, I don't think we should chase them. And Sarla, I feel like as a Krax really has to try to fight against sort of this like Krax raider rumors and like whatnot that goes around. So I think she would definitely kind of try to push against that.
Okay.
So she would not be in favor of running after them.
Okay.
I'd rather find out all about Bruce. Mac starts crawling in its mouth.
Okay. Sarla and Mac are allowed. So Gurgle or Melka, are you okay with this decision?
Yeah, that's fine.
Mac,
Okay.
did you see where the other? Oh God, I've forgotten the
Suika?
goat, the giant goat, Sika,
Tansgrenir?
Suika.
You want my friend Tansgrenir? I've been looking for him everywhere. Have you seen Tansgrenir?
Oh, I was hoping you would know. Okay, let us know about Bruce.
Oh,
Okay,
goodness.
he's got big teeth. It smells really awful.
Well,
it's so exciting in here.
So, as you all take stock, so the other guy's going to get away. And then the rest of you have these two. So you're crawling in, you're taking a look at what's inside the fish, if there's anything worth, like it's eaten. And then maybe you're also going through the belongings of the Zorlak. So let me roll a few things, see what you all found that's useful. How many are there? There's 4 of you, right?
Maybe Cecil can make some fish steaks.
So you all start going through this, and let's see. Let me do some math. 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay, so inside of the belly of this giant fish, you in fact find what looks like the undigested equipment of an adventurer that perhaps was already digested. As you do find a handful of things. You find a slingshot in relatively good condition. So literally good condition. You find some work gloves. These are heavy armor. So they're 2 armor. They go to your arms and they are considered heavy. And you find what looks like a pack that is dripping and ripped apart, but inside of the pack, you do find a cask of cider. Speed cider specifically. So this is a consumable. There's all this stuff you can look up, and that if you consume that, it lets you move twice before or after an action. You also find all sorts of undigested coins in here, so money, goods, all that kind of stuff. So there's a total of 30 coins in here. And
Very
one thing I
nice.
will say about the work gloves is that they are technically rusty, which means that once you reduce the damage from them, they're destroyed forever. So basically like a one use. Then on the Zorlak, you find hang on. There we go. You find an oversized spear. So basically, the weapon is especially large, and it removes 1 extra power from an enemy when they're hit, but it does require 2 hands to wield. And it's basically it's heavy as well. Okay. And then you also find a damaged greatsword. So a damage just means like the sword is -1 damage on it until it's repaired with a crafting test. And yeah, and that's one more thing. And you find what appears to be some sticky oil. It looks you could either use it as a thrown thing to sort of reduce power, or you can use it as lantern fuel, like one of those two things.
Sarla might grab the sticky fuel because she already has kind of the sticky oil, so she's kind of the holder of sticky oil. If that's okay with everybody, she'll take that to replenish.
Mac comes out of the fish with this stuff in his arms. Then his tongue whips out and like slaps around Bruce's eyeball and sucks it into his mouth. He's like, Bruce had so much stuff. And he says, everybody has like 6 coins, and there's gloves and a slingshot and a cask of speed cider. And he puts it all down on the ground. It's all for you, my friends, because you came to save me from the people who were not my friends.
No, but I think the work gloves would be good for you, though, Mac. And look at this giant spear.
Oh, that's a nice spear. But I'm not very good with spears. I'm a sword guy. Because his weapon expertise is in swords.
Oh, maybe the great sword then.
And yes, Darla had kind of picked up the sword and was looking at it. Here you go.
Oh, that's a great sword. And I would go so far as to say it's a fabulous sword.
Well, it could be. It just needs a little bit of like TLC.
TLC.
Yeah, they sometimes sing songs too.
I can't wait to hear this song.
I can't remember them right now, but I'll look it up later.
What? Sometimes you just gotta creep. Isn't that TLC? Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I seen a rainbow the other day. Sorry. I don't want to. I'll actually start doing it.
Jeff really wanted to play a performer.
I listened to some TLC back in the day, and I am fine with admitting that.
I think I could maybe work on the sword, and I might be able to make it not damaged, but maybe after we find your Tuckle buddy.
I think I wouldn't mind the slingshot, because sometimes being far away is helpful.
Well, here you go, Melka.
Thank you.
And you want the gloves?
No, I think you should. I think me having no armor is funnier.
Oh, well, how about Sarla? You probably need the gloves more than I need the gloves.
Speaking of the no armor, Sarla, so I had taken the belt last time, and then I double checked the rules, and I have my work apron is my one slot for body. So she had the belt on that was just sort of decorative, but not doing anything for armor. And Melka saying like, no, it's fun to have more armor. Sarla like takes this like fancy shiny belt buckle thing off. So I appreciate you all helping me, and realize that it was selfish of me to take this. And so she'll hand the belt to Melka.
Oh,
you should probably put this on.
Okay, thank you. Then yes, definitely someone else should take the gloves.
Mac gives the gloves to Sarla. That was so selfless of you. Put the gloves on.
And Sarla holds her arm. She has engineer's gloves on, and she's like, do you not like mine? I like mine very much. They work very well. I think they're better than, thank you, but I think I'm good with gloves.
All right. Gurgle.
I'd be eager to take them, Mac, but these bracers are nice and light. Those heavy gloves, I wouldn't be able to shoot with them.
All right, I'm going to put the heavy gloves on, but only because all of you said no.
Cecil doesn't have anything on arms, but I'm sure it's fine if you take them.
Well, until Cecil gets back and actually says something to me about it, I'm taking the gloves.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
Then
I have good news,
there's a
everybody.
spear. Oh,
You
yes.
have completed another quest, which means this is your third quest complete. This is your second that you've completed at level 2, because rescuing Mac, your missing friend Mac, was a quest, in fact. So because you've completed 2 quests at level 2, you all level up to level 3. So you're all level 3 now. The same rules apply as last time. So like everything is basically flat. It doesn't scale or anything like that. So to remind you, you get to reset your memory knots if you needed to do so. You gain +1 max to 1 attribute or +1 max to your health. And then you gain another 2 XP to spend on abilities.
What's the
Alright.
limit
Question.
what's the limit for attributes? What's the highest you can go?
I think it's 10.
I thought it was
think
10
so.
too.
Yeah,
That's
you can
what
only
we said
ever
last time.
have the max bonus you can ever do on a roll from whatever I think is +5, I believe. But I think you can actually get an attribute to 10.
Did anyone take the spear?
Mm-mm.
So you see Sarla, and she's got this trusty wrench that she very clearly has had for a very long time. But it's a D4. So she's looking at this wrench, and she's looking at this spear. And no one takes the spear. And so she sort of carefully wraps this wrench and kind of puts it in her inventory and takes the spear, which is a D6 plus reflexes. So for my level up, I'm going to add 1 to my reflexes to put that at 4 to help me with the spear.
Sounds
What's
good.
the damage on the greatsword? I mean, I know right now it's -1, but what's the dice?
I'd have to let me look it
1d8
back
plus
up.
strength is the greatsword.
There you go.
It happened to be on the page in the rulebook.
There's a bump up from your current 1d6, so that's perfect.
Yep.
So, and again, it would just take a craft test. So, like, if you all wanted to like rest, that's up to you. That would be so you'd be taking up time if you did so. But I would say if you took a rest, we could say like Cecil could try a craft test or something to repair it, because it would probably take a little bit of time to fix it. I think a rest is like 2 quarter days. Your current quest that you have is potentially help Graskin, Arzium device, and technically you haven't fully rescued Desrika if that's of interest to you as well. But is anyone taking any new abilities this round or this level up?
I'm gonna bank the 2 XP.
I've got 5 XP in the moment to spend, but I'll look at it after tonight and figure something out.
Fair enough. So I'll say while you all are here going through your things, patching yourselves up, going through, cleaning yourselves off, etc. At a certain point, whoever's carrying the torch starts to flicker out until everything becomes black and it's just completely dark in here. Who else has more torches?
Sarla probably would have had the primary one since she's got the sticky oil.
Okay. So Sarla, as you're trying to get a light going again, you hear somewhere in the darkness. And as you hastily try to get the light back up, you see hovering above, it seems like not quite in the lake, but hovering above it, you see this spectral figure, kind of crooked and hunched, neck off to the side, one of its arms kind of dipped off a little bit, and it's translucent, and you can see there's kind of a scratchy long beard, and their mouth opens up, and they start to just lurch and undulate in your direction. I'm going to say active player is probably going to have moved to Sarla at this point. So Sarla, I'm going to give you first dibs. What do you do?
Sarla, I would say, honestly, Sarla is going to kind of scramble back because she's furiously trying to get the light back up.
Okay.
So she's just going to kind of back away.
I'll say you get the light up, and that's how you can see him. Gurgle, give me a perception test.
Throw 1 point on it.
Okay.
I failed a 5.
Do you want to memory knot it? You just got a new level, so you have 3 more of those. This would basically up the roll to a 10.
Okay. My memory knot would be... There's more senses than just sight. So I remember a time where I used my smell to find something.
And as maybe you do like a thing where you put your arm up to almost protect yourself as you see this new creature approaching you. But right as you do, you smell like this kind of leather and metallic smell that you're probably not used to. And you realize the bracer that you have on is what you're smelling. And when you look back up at this spectral white closing in on you, you realize on the crooked arm that seems bent and broken, you see a matching bracer. It's spectral, but you can very much see like the insignia. You can see the design. And it's... And you remember that Varna said that the one bracer of the matching pair was her husband Rickard's.
This is Rickard.
Yeah.
Ask him if he's seen Tansgrisnir.
Rickard, have you seen...
Do you know Varna?
And then you see it pauses.
Varna.
Varna.
She's waiting for you at the top of the hill, kind of, sort of. She looked for you.
And you could tell, like, it's like looking around, and it's like you could tell it's confused.
Little old lady, like yay big, eyes usually kind of covered in gunk.
Give me a cunning test.
Ooh, all right. What challenge rate or difficulty is this?
It's gonna be 7, standard.
7. I'm going to dump 2 cunning into this. That is a 0, which is a 10, so that is 12.
You see, as you mention, like a hut on the hill, you kind of describe her.
She kind of has a thing going, but a little like an old thing, not a young thing.
The head turns up and looks at you now, as opposed to just sort of lumbering, and you see the eyelids open, and it's just black. You don't see any eyes, but you can tell like they're like gazing at you, Melka, as you talk.
Like, I totally get if she's your thing, you know? Like, I'm not gonna judge. Like, it's an old thing, but you're also like old, so that works.
Old wife.
Yeah.
Varna.
Yeah, that's right. Your old wife, Varna. I can sing a song for you.
No, thank you. So
Varna misses you.
Varna, why? And you can tell, like, everything you're saying as you continue to just like talk to him about Varna, each more, like you can start to notice that the translucent nature, he's becoming more and more, not solid, like physically solid, but like he's no longer like flickering. You can see his form is becoming brighter and it's definitely fuller and you can't see through to the other side. I fell. I remember. And you can see like he's like swirling around like on top of the water. I must go to Varna.
Is your body nearby?
I can sense it. And you see like the non-crooked arm, the one that clearly wasn't broken, the one that's missing the bracer, like turns back into the darkness of the waters. And so you see that deep and long distant lake where the torchlight can't even reach the middle of it. He just kind of points deeper.
Oh, that's
gosh, let's
that's
go
a very
get
good
it.
idea.
Oh, I don't like water though.
I love the water. We can bring you to Verna.
We'll find your body, and then we can bring you back to your wife.
Be wary. There are creatures below. He's like still kind of pointing back, and you see his head is like just staring after where his arm is pointing. Creatures, spiders. Yes.
Oh, we saw the spiders on the way down.
They got me. They bit me as well. They suck.
Further down. Waterfall. Chase the waterfall. Just again, just pointing and waving, and you can see this like crooked finger just kind of shaking in the air.
Is everyone rested?
Are we? Well, I mean, I'm almost feeling good. So yeah.
I'm ready. And I did go ahead and spend my XP. I picked up Armor Expertise Helmet.
Nice.
And Weapon Expertise 2nd level for sword.
Awesome. So you get +2 on the sword, I assume. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then
so a total of
like
+3 now with combat tactics.
Awesome. Okay, so you get a new quest. This one's going to be called Rickard's Remains. This one. So did you all actually rest? Did we do that or no?
No.
I don't need to.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just add the quests. This is Rickard's Remains. This is, so I'm putting down, this is going to be 2 days from now. So you have 2 days to complete this. And that includes recovering his remains and then delivering them to Varna. So it's not just recovering them, but actually delivering them as well. Okay. So Sarla, you're still the active player. You can see like Rickard is just hovering the specter and it's just kind of staring off into the darkness. And you see a lengthy, dark watered lake. You hold the torch up to it and it never looks as though you can see the edge of it. Occasionally you see like a small jutting, like a little islet or an outcropping popping up from it, but it otherwise is a very deep and very dark water. It's not like the lake that you had visited outside of Varna's hut by the Fishfolk village. This, like, you can barely see just a couple feet below where you're standing currently. Is there any particular strategy, Sarla, that you would suggest the party takes to traverse this?
I would say that Sarla's primary focus is probably crafting some additional torches. So she wants to make sure that we're very well lit for this adventure. So we just got some extra sticky oil. So however many supplies that would take.
Right. So a torch is just a tool. So it'd be 1 supply and a craft test. And you can make a makeshift torch. Yeah.
Torch, because I could make 4 torches. Take that as a yes.
Mac can't, if he's using this greatsword, he can't carry a torch at the same time, so probably doesn't need one.
I
don't think all of you have to carry one. Like 1 or 2 of you is probably sufficient as long as you stay together.
I'll make an extra 2. So I'll spend 2 supply. And then I'll do a couple craft tests. So 2.
So while Sarla is making the torch, is anybody else making preparations
crit.
or trying to figure out a way across or anything like that?
Can we do a search around this arguable lake shore to see if there are any boat remains that we can fix or anything like that?
Yeah, give me a perception test as you kind of search around here as best you can.
Okay.
I successfully made 2 torches.
Awesome.
Nice.
Go ahead and mark your supply.
I'm going to do 2 of my perception points into this roll. I rolled another 10 for 12.
Awesome.
It's the little dog luck.
Hey, Max. All right, dog. So you do find plenty of debris. From what you can tell, just by as you look around, there's all sorts of debris and rubbish and salvage in here. Like, this does look like a confluence point for different like rivers and streams, and so a lot of things seems to have washed up here. And so some of that looks like tools or equipment of other like spelunkers or adventurers. Some of it looks like actual like a canoe or a boat that just happened to scatter around. And so yeah, you find all sorts of debris. Nothing's intact, so it would take a craft test probably to piece it together, but you definitely find the materials for it. And so what I would say is if somebody tried to make a raft, you could, and I would say no. So this would be something like 2 supply you basically find. So it would be essentially a free supply for a craft test to build a raft.
I start piling bits of raft and bits of canoe next to Sarla in anticipation.
Okay. Mac or
Sarla
Gurgle?
finishes her 2 torches and then just looks to see this pile growing next
Stack
to her.
of work for you to do. Yeah. It's like when you're washing dishes and like you think you finished, but then some jackass comes up and just puts a few more right next to you and she's like, I forgot these.
Look, I remember when we were playing Forbidden Lands and I was the only one with crafting, okay? This is payback. And you guys would not keep your weapons intact. And it was like the only thing I could do.
I was the healer. I served a valuable service.
Yeah.
Mac or Gurgle?
Mac or Gurgle?
Mac probably just wanders off still looking for Tansgrisnir.
Okay, give me a perception test.
I got a 6.
Okay, 6 is not great, as that means something bad is going to happen. You get some sort of complications. Let me give that a quick roll. That's an unlucky.
Yeah. He is a friendly, clumsy toad, so complications are his life.
You are walking around some of these rocky areas, maybe in the shallows of the lake, and then you suddenly just fall as there is some small little like kind of sinkhole or pit hole within the shore itself, and you get scraped by all these rocks as you fall. And that means you're going to actually take 4 points of damage as you start to. You're able to quickly swim back up, but I rolled a 6, so basically you take some damage. You come back up. The water is probably a little bit wet with blood. Your armor can take the hit from this if you have some.
I got it.
But I will say that one of the things you notice as you frantically swim back up is you do see chunks of fur along some of the rocky shoreline, along with blood. And the fur is colorful, much like the srika that Varna had been keeping.
And he just he lays back and throws his arms up in the air, and he's like, Tansgrisnir, my friend!
And so while Mac is screaming off into the darkness, while Melka is piling up more work for Sarla to do, Gurgle, have you been doing anything?
Yeah, I've been speaking with Richter, trying to understand him more.
Okay. What is it you're trying to talk to him about?
What he was or what he did.
Okay.
Check to see if Varna pushed him off the edge.
I was a soldier. And then I was a farmer and a husband. We lived by ourselves, alone, away They wouldn't find me. Deserted. I deserted.
And he gets very, very, morose, sad, as you ask him about what he was and what he did.
And I'll nod along understandingly.
Okay. So, Sarla, are you going to try to make that raft?
Yes, I am. I also added armor expert, so I get a +1 to my apron, and I added toughness, so I get a +1 health. So I did my level up stuff, and now I'm going to spend a craft. And am I spending?
Okay. I would say don't worry about spending supplies. I'll say Melka's roll probably resulted in all the supplies you would need for this, and she collected some of the debris and stuff nearby.
And that is, I rolled a 9 and I had spent a craft, so that's a 10.
It's a 10. And you're able to sift through some of the debris. Some of the stuff will float. Some of it will not. You probably use maybe some of your own equipment, some leather straps or things like that to help bind together a few things. And you have made, once more, a makeshift raft. It's not going to win any awards. And as long as this is a lake that is placid, your raft will probably do just fine. You're probably not doing any whitewater rafting in this, though.
There's mention of a waterfall, though, so...
Yes. Chase it that way.
So, torch 1, torch 2, raft. Anything else anyone needs me to do before we leave?
Nope.
Great. We are going to be successful. We are going to do this. I forgot for a minute that one of my adjectives is encouraging. I forgot that.
Okay.
I was tired of crafting.
Okay. And I'll say because you managed to piece a raft together, you're not swimming. I'm not going to say there's not going to be any supplies lost from swimming across. And it is a slow, you're probably paddling, or maybe you make an oar or two, but it is a very placid lake for, I guess, probably about the next hour as you're slowly traveling across it. Again, occasionally you come across an islet or this little outcropping that comes up. You see these little tiny creatures skittering about here and there, crab-like of some kind, but very small. Occasionally you see deep in the depths below. It's very, very dark water, but occasionally you see something glimmering down there every now and then, maybe reflecting some of the torchlight, which is illuminating most of this massive cavern. But once you get kind of into the middle sections of the lake, you do notice that you can no longer see the sides. You can't see the shore you came from. You can't see the side to the south or to the north or to the west or anything like that. And you're heading eastward, deeper and deeper. At a certain point, I'm going to change the active player over to Mac. Mac, you start to pick up on the fact that you're actually moving much more quickly than you had been prior. And no one's really changed what they've been doing. There's still maybe one rower and a couple paddlers, but you feel yourself going much faster. And maybe it's because you're a Toadfolk. Maybe Gurgle, you pick up on this shortly as well. But you start to see there is a current that seems to be pulling the boat at greater speed deeper into the darkness on the eastern side of the lake. As you're observing this, you notice that current continues to pick up until you actually start to see this funneling. You see the walls begin to close in a little bit as they come back into sight, and then you hear the sounds of rushing water. And then at this point you realize, Mac, you're probably coming up either to that fall that he was talking about or some rapids of some kind. Is there anything that you would want to do in this situation to prepare for this?
He opens his mouth wide, flails his tongue out, and goes, "Wee! We're on a ride!"
Oh no!
You guys hear it? The waterfall! This is gonna be fantastic!
I did not build this raft to go over a waterfall. I thought we were just relocating
fly
toward.
like birds!
Melka is pretty much just gonna like go and glomp on to Mac as a means of a life preserver.
Okay. All right.
And Mac would grab a hold of part of the raft so that as it breaks up and we all go falling into the abyss, he's holding onto something that's floating.
Okay. So
I know I'm not currently the active player, but Sarla did pick up sailing at last. So any challenge that has to do with boats, ships, knots, and water navigation, I get a +1 too.
Good timing for that.
What are you trying to do?
Who is active player right now?
It's Mac, but it's okay. Like active just
okay.
The way I'm playing it is active player just gets the first dibs. Like they get the first dibs on doing something, and then at that point, anyone can really jump in.
So Mac, do you think we should try to not go over the waterfall? And if we do, that's the second option, but not plan A?
So Mac, with his knowledge of 0 and his cunning of 1, goes, but that sounds like such an amazing event. But if you don't think we should, I guess that's okay, Sarla.
Richter said to chase it, so we're going down, Mac.
Let's do it! Chase the waterfall!
I think you might have been making a song reference.
Okay.
So Sarla will see if she can get us a little bit towards the edge so that maybe we're not like smack in the middle of it, that maybe we may be off to the side a little bit.
Okay. And that's better. I think that might actually be worse.
Right into the rocks.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that would take you probably later to the rocks a bit. Okay.
So Sarla's like, we should go to the edge. Yes, the edge. No rocks at the edge.
We'll go right into the deep part of the pool.
Oh,
unless, of course, it's flat.
Okay, and Sarla just looks, grab onto something.
I am.
Okay. So you
Mac
guys
wraps his tongue around Melka's torso, so he's holding on to her and the raft.
All right. So you guys you feel the speed picking up, then you start seeing the churn and like you see this like white foam beginning to churn up, and then as the you can only see so far in front, so like you don't actually see the edge of it until finally you do, and it's just this big fall, and you see like bats and things kind of flying overhead, and you hear the sounds of of things kind of skittering about on the rocks nearby, those crabs and things moving about. And then as you go over the edge of it, you look down, you realize you can't see the bottom either. It's just this big, giant, black, dark abyss, and all of you just fall. Everyone give me a reflex test to lessen the amount of damage that you're about to take. You're going to take some. It's just a question of whether you take. And this is going to be a difficulty of 10.
I will spend 3 reflex on this.
Okay.
Then
I'll do the same.
Okay.
And we did not rest, right? So we did not gain our shoot. We didn't even
probably
do like the
should
short,
have. Yeah.
We didn't even do like the short rest thing.
Nope.
Like the little. Oh, okay.
we're gung ho. I got a 10 on the die for a 13 in total.
A 13. Okay, fantastic. That's fantastic. So Mac
for 12.
Okay. So Mac, you're going to take 4 points of damage. Gurgle, you're going to take 3 points of damage. Sarla, how'd you do?
I rolled a 1. Plus
Okay.
1 reflexes is a 2.
I'm going to go ahead and roll the bigger die then. Sarla, you're going to take 7 points of damage. And then Melka, how about you?
Does armor come into play with this at all?
Yeah, armor can come into play. You can deplete your armor first.
All right.
Melka?
So I haven't rolled. I've got it right here. But hear me out, Jeff. Yeah.
Okay. I'm listening.
2 cunning points and flying. Can I just gargoyles my way back down?
Absolutely. Spend the 2 cunning, and you can you got your arms go wide, the wings come out.
I remembered I could fly.
And you just slowly glide in this
Mac's
circle
tongue
spiral.
unravels around her body, and he waves up as he's falling. Get at the bottom, Melka!
He disappears in the black because you don't see any of them. You're just in this big black bubble as the rest of the light and everything goes down.
Oh no!
But yeah, so as those of you on the raft crash, and you do crash in spectacular fashion at a certain point, like after the initial tumble over the falls, like you start to slip free from the raft kind of starts to slip free from itself. You do keep, I would say some of you, if you're keeping hold of each other, you do for a little while, but ultimately the fall is so far, like it's literally stories that you fall hundreds of feet, but fortunately you do land in more water, and so that does help in some ways. But I'll say, Sarla, as you land, you do manage to scrape and maybe kick off the side of some of the rock as you fall, and it scrapes against you, and that probably accounts for the extra damage. Mac and Gurgle, just the force of hitting the water at such a tall fall and a high velocity is probably enough to cause a little bit of damage. As the two of you, you're okay. Like you quickly surface back up, probably a little dizzy. At this point, it's completely black down here, with the exception of in the distance, through what looks like a cave opening, you see some very colorful lights, like violets and purples and blues. But the torches, whatever you were carrying, has been doused, obviously, by the fall. Melka, you're the last to arrive, and you probably arrive as everyone's climbing up out of the water, Sarla bleeding a little bit. I am going to say, one thing I'm going to say is Melka, actually everybody...
Did we do
Mac and Gurgle, Mac and Gurgle pass, so you guys are fine. I'm going to say... Yeah, never mind. I was gonna give like a terrified condition, but it doesn't really make sense in this case. Like the mechanic doesn't really make sense. So never mind. So Melka, you come swirling down, and you can see everyone climbing up. There is a little bit of this purplish, violet, blue glow that gives just enough light down here to see each other, but probably not enough to do anything too complicated.
Melka, look! We found the land of the lost!
Yeah.
I am certain there must be slee stacks somewhere near here.
Or maybe we'll finally meet Glogos.
That too.
It's been so long. I haven't ever met one. Do you think they'll be our friend?
Why not? We're friendly people.
Yeah, I agree.
Darla has dragged Cecil out from whatever happened with Cecil and got him onto
Okay.
some type of rescue.
Gurgle, I'm going to say you're active player. You see in front of you basically two paths out of this cavern where the waterfall lands. And there is a very deep landing area, and then there's like streams going down each one of these caves. But they're not very thick. They're just these tiny little cave streams. You see that the water in this landing area for the waterfall goes down extraordinarily deep. You and Mac plunged in, and you came nowhere close to the bottom. So the water continues to go down. You also see these two cave openings going forward. One of them is very small, like you could go hands and knees and kind of crawl through, and there's no light whatsoever, but it does look like there's an opening, we'll say on the south side of the cave. And then kind of on the sort of the north side of the cave is where there's a much larger walkable opening, and that's where you see the light coming from. So Gurgle, do you take one of these cave openings? Do you try to see if you can get to the bottom of the water? What would Gurgle want to do here?
Well, I head towards the large cave light so we can actually get everyone through.
Jeff, can you remind me what where the ghost said his body was?
He said it's deep. I thought.
You said it was deep, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how he fell so far and then in the water and then onto the land again, maybe?
I think his body's at the bottom of this, under the waterfall. He said chase the waterfall.
Oh, that's fair.
You can
I'm really going to have to look up the lyrics for that song.
I might be the only one that can swim down there.
Yeah.
True. Well, we will follow you.
Are you
Like
sure?
to the shore. I mean, we'll follow you to the shore where you were going in the first place, and then you can swim down.
All right, Gurgle. What do you want to do here?
I plan on waiting here quietly.
Well, all right.
What I'll do.
Well, thanks, Google. I appreciate that.
I'll
Long,
lead us
what
down
would you
to
like to do? I'm just calling you Long from now on.
I'll lead us down to the light tunnel.
Okay, you're gonna go in the illuminated tunnel. Okay. When you walk in that direction, you notice what the light is coming from. You can see that embedded in.
I don't understand.
When you. I appreciate its
Damn you,
willingness.
Google.
I appreciate its willingness to say what it doesn't know. That's great. I don't know is a very difficult thing for some people to say. Okay. You notice where the light's coming from. Long. You see that there are all these glowing crystals that are embedded in the walls, and you can see that as you walk into it, they're casting all sorts of these disorienting lights. The closer you get to it, the brighter it is, and you can even tell that it's like ebbing and flowing. You can tell the luminance is going much brighter, then it's dimming here and there. You also, as you're looking around, you notice that like you're pretty sure, even though it's hard for you to see, you think there's like another side to the cavern, and you're pretty sure you see another exit. But you also notice other things glinting in the floor here and there. But it's just so hard to see because of how bright it is when you come here. It's like the inverse effect of everywhere else in the cavern, where it's just too much light. So what would you like to do? Would you like to push your way through? Do you want to search around? Is there some way that you want to deal with the brightness?
Can't really see anything in here, guys.
Well, grab the handfuls of mud off the ground and smear them on the walls.
We'll see if we can take Mac's idea and start dimming the crystals.
So if you reach down into the ground and you just start doing your best to smother it, it takes a little time, but eventually you do dim the light to the point where you actually can see around. And you realize that because the stream has been going through here, so there is some dampness and you're able to do so. But you realize there are all sorts of, remains. There's a handful of not so much remains, but you see a couple bones here or there, but you also see some explorer equipment. You see like a pack that has been kind of torn open, or you can see an old rope that is unfrayed itself. You don't really see a whole lot of, you only see maybe like one or two like bits of bone, not like full on bodies, but you see a lot of like equipment that seems to be scattered about here.
Let's take a search around. See if we can find anything.
All right. So the first thing you find as you look around is you do find kind of tucked underneath what looks like an old leather like haversack. And when you pick it up, you realize it's really only one side of the haversack. The other side has been like eaten away by this muck. But you see flopping out of it is a hexite crystal. Now the color of the hexite crystal is a little bit different than you've seen before. It's got like a different coloring to it. It's almost got like a reddish tinge to it, like a violet tinge, which is a little different than like usually the bluer tones that you've seen around here. But you do pick one up, and you can see that there is like a small like coin pouch falls as well. When you pick it up, you see these tarnished bits of like 5 coins pick up in front of you. There's other things in the muck, but they all look broken. Looks like there might have been some arrows in here, but they're all kind of broken apart at this point, and maybe some kind of like crossbow mechanism, but the wood that encased it has long since decayed around it. So while your Fishfolk friend is searching around, Melka or Mac or Sarla, anything you're doing in here now that the light is dimmed a bit from the muddied crystals?
I mean, I think Mac would probably be doing the same thing as Gurgle. He'd probably just be kind of poking around the cave.
Okay. You find an old rusted lantern. About a half filled with oil. You're not sure if the oil's any good anymore. It looks like separated. But Mac, the other thing you notice is you see more colorful tufts of fur, covered in mud, a little bit damp, but you would recognize your Srika friend's fur anywhere. Now, it's just the fur, but you certainly see tufts of it here or there.
He immediately tracks on that and is like trying to follow it, whatever direction it seems to be leading in this cave.
You find a couple small tufts that lead up towards the far end of this crystal cavern, where there is a crevice, this vertical crevice that is split at the bottom, and it almost just looks like the letter A as you see it just kind of split down a bit. It doesn't look like it doesn't look like a wide cave you'd be squeezing and crawling, but you could get into it.
He totally squeezes in there, yelling the entire time, "Tans Grisnir, where are you, my friend?"
As you guys see Mac run off and slip into that crevice. Melka or Sarla?
Oh, Mac, hold on, don't go. I'll come with you.
Melka comes rushing after. Sarla?
Well, I would say that Sarla had probably been looking at one of the crystals on the wall just to see if her machinery would do anything with kind of like understanding these crystals and kind of their function and whatnot. So she would get as far as she could into looking at that until multiple members of the party go running off.
Yeah, you hear the two of them race off. Mac makes he yells out, what's the name again? Tanzania? Tans Grisnir. Okay. Yells that out.
One of two of Thor's goats that he eats every night and that regenerate in the morning.
That's right. Okay. Tans Grisnir. Okay. And then you see Melka chase after him. Meanwhile, Gurgle, don't you dare. It's like going, like holding up this colorful hexite crystal, this strange, different sort of strange color, in fact. And you see the two best friends rush off into that crevice in the side.
Gurgle, my friend, looks like a very interesting hexite. Should we chase after those two?
I'll throw the crystal towards Sarla. You probably understand this. Then we'll chase after.
Explodes and does 1d6 damage. Just kidding. That would be great. And you chase after Mac and Melka, as I just said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you all are following in, so we'll say I'll go back up to Melka at this point as Mac and Melka, you lead the way. Do one of you have a light source, a torch, Melka or Mac? Do one of you have lanterns?
Mac now has a lantern.
Dark. I have a lantern, but it's not lit.
Okay.
You can light it.
It's very dark. True. Eventually, it takes a little while, but you do feel like this griminess, this stickiness on the insides of the walls. But then you burst free and you realize wherever you're traveling is now open again. It gives you time if you wanted to light it up. It smells very foul in here.
Mac would be like, "Melka, I can't see. Can you see?"
No, it's too dark.
Here's a lantern. I found it.
Okay, great. I'll light it. I'll fiddle with it and see if I can't light it.
When you light it, I'll say it's probably going to have less of a duration just because of its sort of old and separated nature. But you do see some illumination come. And you are in a large and kind of dark purple rock canyon, like cavern, I should say. And you look above you and you see crisscrossing above you are all these white and violet strands, webs and things like that. You see some rocks, some uneven ground. You see these bunches here and there of these cocooned figures, some of them quite large, some of them quite small, pockets here and there all throughout. The cavern is quite large, and you can see in front of you there are places where the strands kind of cross in front of your eyes. And as Sarla and your Fishfolk friend emerge from the crevice, you also hear...
Mac, did I tell you got bit by a spider earlier? It was real big.
Well, that's terrible, Melka. Do you think that's what's happened to my friend?
Does any of the nests of or cocoons of spider web look to be the right size for Circa?
Well, some of them are quite large indeed. If you would like to roll a perception test, you also could do that too.
Sure. Yeah, I'll roll a perception test. I'll use my last bit of perception.
That's what I like to
We
hear.
really should have rested. And I rolled a 4, so that's a total of 5. So that is a fail.
There are several in here that could fit the size of a Circa.
That one, or that one, or that one. Or that one could be the right size.
Well, let's just chat with the spider and see if it'll let my friend go.
Yeah, I agree with this plan.
Okay.
He's dumb as a bag of hammers.
I love Mac. Mac is hilarious. Oh my goodness. Sarla or Gurgle, do you do anything you should come inside?
I'm sorry, did I hear you say talk to the spiders?
I've heard spiders are really good musicians.
Who knows? I mean, it makes very pretty webs. Maybe it'll be very understanding. I mean, Tansgrisnir is very unique.
You hear from somewhere on the other side of the cavern in the darkness.
I pull out my guitar because it's a string instrument. I can sing for them.
Well, let's go get it. I hear him. Let's go. And Mac starts moving off.
So Mac
Fancy,
rushes
fancy
off into the darkness. Malka follows, singing Itsy Bitsy Spider. Sarla, he follows while Gurgle.
We've entered a spider's nest. Best we avoid any webs. And I'll follow with caution.
So you follow with caution. Mac, you eventually track down the sound. And you can see that there is a bunch of cocoons to the north side of this cavern. And most of them are still, but you can see one of them moves and it goes, and you hear muffled coming from it. But you also see this leg just emerge over top of the cocoon, this like thin, but also somewhat furry leg just reaches over. And then a second one, and then a third, and then a fourth. And you see standing on top of that cocoon is a spider the size of a very large dog. And then Gurgle and Sarla, you hear behind you. And when you look around, you can see there's two more that are slowly coming out of these little crevices in the side of the wall. You can see Melka up in front of you. There's a few more coming your direction. You start seeing suddenly you guys are surrounded by 6 of these spiders. So I'm going to switch us over into initiative at this point. All right, let me bring you out over. All right. It's a perfect song. Okay. Let's take a look, see how that looks for everybody.
Oh gosh. Oh dear.
Okay. So there are there are 6 total spiders scattered about. No one's in groups yet, so we're just going to do our usual play, but they are slowly creeping in your direction. They do not look like they want to talk. They have not responded to Mac's entreatments. So they definitely look like they're very violent. And not only that, Melka, these look exactly like the type of spider that attacked you coming out of the canyon wall.
Oh no.
Who would like to go first?
For Tansgrisnir! And Mac will charge the one that's on the cocoon. I assume it's this one up here?
Absolutely, right to the north there. Go ahead and slide you over. Okay, so you can brush it up. Okay.
So he will, and I will take the charge action so I can move up and spend 1 strength to push an enemy as a minor action. Well, no, I won't do that. I'll just run up and hit it.
Okay.
Seems more
good.
reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, pushing is only really useful if you're trying to get him away from someone or something like that, or trying to get it knock it over a cliff or something like that.
So I will spend the 2 strength to bring it up to +5.
Okay. Which is the max.
Yep. And Oh, here's a D8. Okay.
Ooh.
8.
8 total? Or
Nope, 8 on the
plus?
die, plus 5, 13 plus 5, 18.
Describe how you slaughter this thing as you come up to it, because you
So
do.
you see Mac run up. He's just in insane fear for his friend, and the greatsword is basically held out like a lance. And he just runs it all the way through the thorax of the spider and keeps his legs churning. So he bursts through the ichor of its body and comes out the other side. And he's, that was messy, Melka, but they squish easy.
Oh,
You see the legs
great.
are still twitching on either side as you split it in half. It's just. You hear, and then somewhere far above, you hear this loud, cacophonous, like squench or squeal of some kind, and you start seeing this heavy reverberation in the sort of the crisscrossing above you.
Maybe the big one will want to talk.
Maybe we just get Tanzagriza, and then goes back
near. Can he?
and then go back out through that hole.
So I am going to take my minor action to
Sure.
use the ability Patch Up. So I'm going to spend 1 craft and 1 of my supplies to heal myself 2 hit points, because I think might need that. Here
Okay, sounds good. All right, so Melka or Gurgle or Sarla, who would like to go next?
I'll group up with Mac,
Okay.
pull out my dagger, and cut out Tansgrisnir, the cocoon that he's repping.
Okay. I don't have a token for him, but he would have been the cocoon in the furthest recesses of the north. So I'll say you're able to rush up, and you do in fact free him. And when you pull back away the sticky cocoons, which stick to your fingers, but you can see it sticks to his fur, you can tell that Tansgrisnir is not in Tansgrisnir is not in great condition. Lots of wounds, lots of patches of fur missing, and you're pretty sure one of its legs might have a fracture in it. But nonetheless, it like kind of looks up with this sort of like whimper and the pleading in its eyes, and then you have freed it.
You're the best, Gurgle.
We'll get him out of here, Mac.
Okay, Melka or Sarla?
So, sorry, which of these directions is the way that we would be running out now that we have freed Tansgrisnir?
I
That'd be
would
to the
say
left, to the
I would say
right?
it's to the northwest a bit, but I will say, Sarla, there are other cocoons in here that you notice as you start to take stock of these other spiders moving.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So then, Sarla would move to the southeast a little bit because there's some cocoons there. And she would like to pull out this new spear that she's got and see if she can hit at this spider that is over in this direction.
Absolutely. And I will say there is one of these cocoons wiggling, so you do rush towards a good patch for this.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead and
so
roll your
I
attack.
want to try to kill the spider so that I can get this thing out. So I'm spending my last reflex since we didn't rest. 1d6 plus 1 on this spear. And that is 5
Okay, 5
damage
total.
with a -2 power.
Oh, okay, very nice, very nice. And go ahead and reduce that. -2 power.
Yep. And then I will spend a strength to perform a bite attack.
Very nice.
That is a 1d4 for my deadly bite.
Okay.
And I rolled a 4.
A 4. Awesome. You have cut through this thing. You probably lopped off a leg, carved through part of the carapace as well. Maybe one of its eyes is kind of laying limp from where you've attacked it, but it is still up. It is still functional, however weakened. And then
Okay, I'm going to save you, whatever you are. I'm going to save you. Hang on.
Okay, and you hear as if someone's trying to communicate with you. You do actually hear it. You can't make it out, but you hear a voice. You genuinely hear a voice. Melka, I don't think you've gone yet. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna do a gambit. And Melka is going to stand more into the center of this room.
Okay.
And she's going to start to kind of sing and try to entice the spiders to not necessarily attack, but maybe join in a performance instead.
Okay.
It's the best song. Why are you giving that face? It's the best song ever.
It's a great song. It's a great song. I totally agree. It's better than the one that you tried last time, a couple weeks ago.
That one was a distraction one. Now I'm trying to entice them away from attacking and maybe just like going up into the webs and watching or something. Okay. Or just distract them from attacking long enough that my friends can kill them.
What I would say is it might inflict a condition on them, like a confusion or something like that. So let's say we'll say a 7 will get you, like, the higher you do, the better you do, the more it might affect. So we'll say that.
All right. Cool.
7 minimum, but then if you go really high on it, maybe you get more than 1.
All right. I will roll the dice that's been doing well for me so far.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a 5. So I get 6 with perform. But unfortunately that is not high enough. I didn't really have
memory not. Don't forget you can do that.
Good job. I totally forgot about memory knots. Yes, I will reroll. She'll remember when she was first learning the guitar and distracting her siblings from being a pain. Okay. That is a 9, so a 10 total.
You don't have to reroll. It's just an automatic 10.
Oh, right. I always forget that. 11.
Okay. So I'll say that you're going to get the 2 to the east on the screen that you can see. I'm going to give them the confusion condition. So basically what this means is that when they attack, if they roll a 1 or a 2, they're going to hit an ally instead, an ally in range. So we'll say that those 2 off to the east are the ones that will be affected. Okay, I'm just going to throw something random.
I made them want to go watch X-Men.
Like, oops, come back. Yeah. Okay. And I think all of you have gone, so it is just your chef friends. So maybe he charges one of the ones behind. He's got 2 knives, one for. So he'll charge up to one of the ones on the way that kind of snuck around behind you, and he'll take a couple swings, we'll say, at this one. So he's got his 2 knives, and he's got his +1s on each of them. Oh, that's a 1. That's not good. All right, that's a 3. So that's 2 + 4, so that's 6 total damage onto this thing, which is pretty good. And then he also can throw his spice throw, right?
Yeah, it's got eyes.
Okay, it does. So
spiders be getting eyes.
It'll remove 1d6 power. So minor action, he'll chuck this spice throw down. And so it's a d6 for power. That's 5. So it's actually going to reduce it to 0. Okay.
Nice.
And that's its turn.
Did you spend the supply?
Spider.
I can.
You can. Thank you. Please go ahead and take care of it. Okay. So then I've got 5 spiders to go. I think they tick up with their power 1. So each of them basically gets +1 from what they're currently at. I'll start with just the one that's right by Cecil, since he just attacked it. Okay. All right. So he's going to go. Yeah. So he's just going to go ahead and attack with looks like a D4 as he tries to fight back. But he has a measly +1 to this. So that's 4 points of damage over to Cecil. Then Cecil needs to roll a strength test to avoid being poisoned. What does he have?
He's got 4 armor, so he's good with that.
Okay, so damage is depleted. But then I think whenever he's attacked, he needs to, whenever the attack, it doesn't say damage. So he has to roll his strength. I will go ahead and spend 2 of his strength on this, which means he will fail with a 6. So he is poisoned. So poor Cecil is in a 1v1 with the spider off to the northwest. The one to the southwest, I think, will rush towards the Krax, who is attacking one of these other spiders, and is going to attack you, Sarla.
It's ignoring me.
It was 50-50. I went 50-50.
Guitar hero in the middle is okay.
Wait, she has strings. We have strings. She's one of us. Okay.
One of us.
So, Sarla, you're going to take 7 points of damage.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
that puts me down.
This one. Do your armor first.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of when I lost the armor, because I think it was on the way in.
It was probably the waterfall.
On the fall. Did that recover?
Okay. I'm gonna say no, since this is all kind of the same area. It's like this is
then
the
I am
same
down.
area. Okay.
Because I only had 7 health left.
Okay, so you fall. Then the one that you attacked is going to shoot a web over at Melka.
Rude.
Not safe.
Melka, roll a strength test as they spit at you.
Oh, hey, that 9 that I rolled earlier that didn't count.
What about it? You should try to do that again. That would be really useful.
I rolled it ahead of time.
All right, hold on. I just rolled a 9 again.
Okay. Well, I told you should have done. Okay.
All right, I did it. I took your advice. I rolled it again.
You realize it just shot this huge web at you, and some of it hit you, but you're able to kind of pull yourself out of it, and you are not trapped. Then I have these 2 that are confused. I think they're going to charge in. Well, actually, I'm gonna say with the first one, I'm going to charge. Yeah, I'm gonna charge in at where Mac and Gurgle are. I'm going to attempt to attack them, but if I roll a 1 or a 2, I'm going to say it instead spits its web towards one of these other spiders. And I rolled a 1. So I'm going to say as it rushes over,
nice.
And like it gets to one of the high parts, and it turns right as it's about to fire at Mac, and instead it spits this web at Melka, misses Melka, and it's going to hit one of the spiders that is now attacking Sarla, that just downed Sarla. So that one is essentially webbed. So someone has webbed it. The second one that suffered from the confusion is going to charge in also at Mac, and I'm going to do the same thing. We'll see if it's... Okay, this time I rolled a 4. So it will, in fact, target Mac. Mac, this is 8 points of damage coming at you.
Okay.
And then I need you to roll a strength test to avoid being poisoned.
An 8.
Okay, so you are not poisoned. Make sure to deplete your armor before you deplete your health. And if you wanted to Gurgle, you also could share some of that damage since the 2 of you are in the same group. And that is it. I think that's all of them. So it comes back around to you all. Sarla was going and trying to save one of these wiggling cocoons, these like person-sized cocoons, almost a couple feet tall. And then she gets attacked by 2. One of them has now been webbed, and the other one looks very damaged from what Sarla did. 2 of them are in the same group as Mac and Gurgle, and then one is fighting with Cecil back the way you came. Who would like to go first?
Sarla. I am going to run over here, sort of group up with Sarla.
Yep.
And as a minor action, I am allowed to use my weapon my guitar as a weapon 1 time per battle. And it just
bash
says
Sarla to death?
D8.
push her out of her misery?
No, I'm going to attack the spider that she injured greatly.
Okay.
I think that's the right one.
Absolutely. It's the one on the right. Yeah.
That is 4 points of damage only. Let me just double check. Yes, 4. And
it had 4 health left. So describe how you bash the guitar into this thing to kill it.
Pretty much like in cartoons when you hit an insect with a flat object and the legs like splay out to the side and there's like a splatter of gunk underneath it and it's like, oh.
Okay.
And then can I use my action, or is this something that I would have to do outside of battle to use my wound kit to apply it to Sarla, give her 1 HP and remove the wounded condition?
Okay. I think it's fine to do it because I feel like that's basically you're using your combat action to heal her, which is fine. I'm okay with that.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. So you said you want to do a wound kit. So Sarla, what this will do, the wound kit will give you 1 HP back. It'll remove your wounded condition.
Yes.
And it also obviously will remove the death's door condition as well, since you get 1 HP back. So you are up and conscious. And
Sarla!
Okay.
Oh, that was unexpectedly painful.
I'm not so good at this, but here you go.
And Sarla will try to return the favor. So there was another of these spiders that was here. And so Sarla will get up and try to attack this spider that's in front of her.
Absolutely. That is actually webbed in this case.
Okay.
So I'll say if you want, take a +2 on this, just for the fact that it's sort of wiggling and stuck in its own webs, one of its own kind. So you can take a +2 to this as it's not able to dodge or move around in any way.
Okay. So I'm rolling a straight 1d6 since I'm out of reflexes. I rolled a 3. So the +2 will put it at a 5 and it removes 2 power.
Okay. So 5 points of damage, you said total? Okay.
Yes.
And it removes 2 power. Up? It is still up.
Okay. So then I will spend my last strength to minor action bite attack.
Okay.
For 1d4.
Okay.
And get a 1.
All right. So that's just 1 point. Okay. It's still up
just
then.
Just 1.
Okay. All right.
And she's what doesn't look very good, but she does what she can to just swing the other spear and just sort of.
Okay. Wait, so you've used what have you used so far? Can you walk me through like what actions, like combat, minor, what have you done?
Yeah. So the combat action was the strike with the spear and the minor action is the deadly bite. Okay.
Perfect. Still up. Okay. Mac or Gurgle? You've got 2 of these spiders over by you, but they look a little confused. Though now that the song has ended, I'm wondering if that confused might end too.
It would make sense.
Yeah.
Take care of these spiders and get out of here.
I think that's a fantastic plan, Gurgle. They're not very nice.
There's other people inside these things.
We've got to get them all out. Them and Transgrisnir.
Yeah, Tran.
Tansgrisnir!
Tran!
Tansgrisnir!
I'll stab at one spider for a d4 damage, my dagger.
Okay.
Total of 3.
Okay. So one thing I should point out to you guys, if you guys have splash damage items, now's a really good time to use them because they would hit 2 enemies. So 3 points on 1. So that'll be...
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, it's perfect you bring it up because my minor action, I'll toss the Hexite Crystal right after.
Okay. Yeah, roll the damage and it'll go to... You can do them you can roll damage separately or together, whichever you prefer.
Together. 1d6 coming up. 1.
You totally regret that. Welcome to my Gen Con. Yeah. That's what I did every time I threw a friggin' Hexite Crystal, is I rolled a 1. Every single time. Okay. Don't forget, I think with Hexite Crystals, you can still use a plus maybe on it. I can't remember. Okay. Are you all set? Is that it, Gurgle?
Yeah, that's all for me.
All done. All right, Mac.
So Mac You see his tongue whip down around to his belt pouch and pull out his healing elixir and pour it into his open mouth as he swings this two-handed sword down at the spider that Gurgle just attacked.
Awesome.
In an attempt to kill it.
Okay, go right ahead.
Where's that D8? Not as good this time, just 6. I didn't spend any strength, so 9 points of damage.
9 is still enough. Describe your kill.
So he's drinking out. He doesn't even really look down. He just whips the sword around and then brings it down and accidentally chops its head off, and its thorax and head separate.
And again, it falls, the legs twitch, and that's 2 of them that are dead.
That was yummy in my tummy, Gurgle!
All right, Cecil will continue to fight the one behind him. I'll do the same thing I've done before. Well, that's a good. It's a 4. And another fragile, 2 4s. That's 10 points of damage. So he just like slices through this one behind you. And so now your escape route is relatively clear, as it looks like any of the spiders that were blocking the path. There are still 2 left. You do still hear the sounds of something up above. You probably don't want to linger too long. But really quickly, I'll say that the one by Mac will attack Mac, as Mac has just killed 2 of its kin.
That's reasonable.
So this is going to be 7 points of damage.
Watch out, Mac. I'll take
Ouch.
4.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Gurgle jumps in front, takes a little bit of the stabs of the legs and the fangs. And then the target, so in this case it's Mac. Mac, go ahead and roll strength test.
8.
Okay. You're good to go again. No poison. And then over to the south side, Melka. This is going to be a total of 5 points of damage at you. How's that look?
Yeah, that's fine. With my 1 armor that I now have for the belt, that brings me to 2 hit points.
Okay. And then I need you to roll a strength test to see if you get poisoned.
You'll live forever. Forever!
I'm doing my best. Strength check. Yeah, let's do that. That is 7.
Okay, that's good enough. That's a pass. You do not get poisoned. All right, starting a new round, what I would say to you all is if you had a thought about retreating and you do hear something coming down from above, at the start of your side's turn, you can choose to retreat. Sometimes this will require a test. I would say because you managed to clear the path blocking your way out, I would say you probably don't need to do a test, but Sarla, if you wanted to try to take this wiggling cocoon with you, then I would probably require a test from you. But if you wanted to try to take Tan's Grisnir, you could, if that's an option.
Do we see any other moving cocoons in here?
Nothing. The only one that you see that looks like it could hold like a person is the one that Sarla's at. There's other smaller ones that could be critters in the cave and things like that. But in terms of people, that's the only people-sized one.
Let's get out of here. We need a nap.
Yeah, I agree.
Mac will pick up Tansgrisnir with his incredible small toad self, and he starts trucking.
Okay.
It's gonna be okay, little buddy.
This one.
Sarla will patch you up.
Sarla, I would want a strength test to wrench this being free.
Okay.
As you try to escape. I
don't have anything to help me with this.
You do have a memory knot if you fail. You have a memory knot?
Yeah. So I'm going to imagine a this is going to make no sense in the world, but it's the first thing that popped in my head, so I'm going to do it. Unwrapping something at some point and carefully trying to unwrap the thing, and someone just saying just rip it open. And so instead of trying to be careful as she's kind of trying to use the spear to rip it open, she remembers to just hack at this thing, and speed is of the utmost importance.
And as you hack away at it, you hear ow, 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 and you peel back and you see blue skin scale type creature with these red eyes, and it's got some little kind of coveralls on. As you kind of hack into it, but you grab it by the arm and you just start racing away, and it's like as it's bumping along the ground as you pull it. Okay. Gurgle and Melka, do you follow your friends who have saved various? Okay.
Yes.
I'll say the last thing that the two of you see as you follow Sarla and Mac is you see all of the different webs begin to vibrate and flicker, and you see flopping down into the middle of the cave, right in where some of the debris of the other dead smaller spiders are. You see one that has got to be at least 10 times the size of one of the ones that you just killed, and it goes and you see all of the different webs begin to shake, and you hear a skittering as things are starting to follow. But all of you plunge into the crevice and you start racing back away. And that's where we're going to go ahead and end for tonight, and we'll pick up on that next time around. Okay.
Yay.
You guys,
Glogo!
there you
Glogo!
go. Go. Yep.
Mac's gonna have some competition for new best friend.
Oh, I mean, Mac is holding Tickle Buddy, so
That's right. He's got Taskers near, so if you
That's
leave
true.
him high and dry, he's got a furry friend.
Oh, goodness. Fantastic. Okay. So yeah, we'll pick up on that. I named the Glogo Ordo. For
Nah.
I thought it was funny. Like, yeah, that kind of sounds right. All right. So yeah, we'll pick on that next time. Let's go ahead and hit some closing plugs. I know we gotta take off here. So let's start with Aaron. Aaron, what's going on over at Garblag?
Next week on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, join us on the Garblag YouTube channel for the finale of the Cataclysm of Kang. We'll see if Operation Pendragon at rank 6 can take on Kang, the Devourer of Timelines. Then on Thursday, same time, Richard will be running us through session 2 of Imperium Maledictum, Shadow of the Apostate, where we are currently clearing out cultists and mutants from the ship we're in, transiting the warp.
Fantastic. Okay. As for us, we are off Friday and Saturday this weekend, so we will be back again till Monday, when we'll be back with more Otherscape. Tuesday, you can see a bunch of us here playing through Star Trek as Steven hops back into the GMC. We'll be back to Arzium next Thursday, and I think Delta Green is next Friday. And I also want to plug Huckleberry. Not only should you go get Huckleberry because it's awesome, drive-through RPG and whatnot, or huckleberryrpg.com, but Steven is putting out a big update tomorrow, I believe, that is going to include not just some updates and tweaks and to some of the rules and things like that, but also a copy of The Divine Comedy. And so if you watched our run of the game about a month or so ago, we ran through that very adventure on our stream. And now if you want the full adventure to run for your own groups and such, that will be coming to you. If you've already gotten a hold of the early access, you're going to be getting all that kind of stuff for free, no additional cost, just kind of coming to you. And so keep an eye out tomorrow for that update. And if you're listening to this later, just go get it, because there's a lot of places to get it, and it's a really fun game, and Steven's really awesome. He's been working really hard on it, and it's great to support him. But that's it. That's all we got. Thank you to Demon X and Matt in the Hat for the raids there at the end. We're going to pay it forward. We're going to raid our buddies over at Insomnia Night RPG. Please follow the raid. Please have a great rest of your night, and we'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.
See ya.